Hi, this is Coach Joe Lucas. Hope you're doing well. Happy Monday, the start. I hope for you a successful and powerful week. Let's start off the week talking about getting ourselves to do things that sometimes we don't want to do. That may in fact risk some failure, right? Risk some rejection. We all have this scenario, this procrastination, if you will, around things that we find unpleasant, around things that we find could hurt us, right, emotionally, i.e. rejection, failure. So the question becomes, when you know you need to do something and it's in your best interest and it's in your business's best interest and yet you don't do it, what's the rationale for that? Like is that really a rational thought? Is that really something you're sitting down with and intentionally having a conversation with yourself that says, I know I want to do this, I know I need to do this, but I just don't care right now. It's not the way it works. You find other things to do, right? You find other ways to, in essence, rationalize not taking the right behavior. So, how do you break that? I'm going to share with you a very simple strategy that I've used for decades that was taught to me by one of my mentors. And it's really helped me whenever I get stuck, right? And stuck is you're looking at your to-do list, your call list, right? Everything like that. And you're like, here's some things on there, right, that are, could be a little problematic. So here's the question. Whenever I look at something, and I do this as part of my morning ritual, part of my daily game planning piece, is I'll look down, and by the way, I'm marketing every day. I'm having an intro call, I'm following up on people, I'm hitting people up in LinkedIn. I'm very proactive now, right? And with that proactivity comes risk, right? Failure, rejection, not now or not interested, whatever it is. And you have to be around that. So here's what I do. Here's the question. Whenever I've got to go do something that I know is in my best interest, and I ain't jumping at the chance to go do it, here's the question. What's the worst thing that can possibly happen? And sometimes I'll even ask that question out loud of myself. What's the worst thing that can possibly happen? Because to me, if you get conscious, right, and you get rational over outcomes, right, because we as human beings always are projecting outcomes on things. When you ask yourself an intentional question, you're going to get an intentional answer, a conscious answer versus some unconscious pattern. So what's the worst that can happen? Let's just take a prospect. Let's take a marketing. Let's take a selling scenario, right? You're going to follow up on somebody. Maybe it's a prospect. Maybe somebody you've met with, a referral, whatever it is. And today's the day, right? We're going to go do that follow-up. And, you're doing this approach avoidance, right? Well, I'll do it this afternoon. Yeah, they're probably busy this morning. We kind of put these things in our minds, right? And when you ask yourself the question, what's the worst that can possibly happen? Your brain will go like this. Well, I guess they can say no, because that's really all they're going to do, right? Okay, then what does that mean to me? Well, it means that I don't get a client. Well, what does that mean to me? Well, I lose an opportunity. Unless that's going to make you homeless or have you, deported out of the country or some bizarre stuff or strung up outside, really think about it for a second. Coupled with an abundance mentality, right? Hey, there's opportunities everywhere. What's the worst that can possibly happen? They say no. Well, what does that mean to me? I lose the opportunity. Or in essence, what I say is, hey, they lose the opportunity to work with me, right? I flip it. And then all of a sudden, it's no big deal. Like all of a sudden, okay, you know what? That's the worst thing. I can deal with that. Because if you can accept the outcome of failure in the scenario rationally, right? You can then do anything. You follow up with anybody. But you've got to control. And this is the thing, most advisors, most human beings operate in, several layers of unconscious patterns, and you're not aware of them. All of a sudden you start becoming aware. All of a sudden you start working on your personal operating system. You now will take actions that you've habitually struggled with. And that changes your game. So I want you to think about that. Ask yourself, today, Monday, right? What do you got to do? Look at the things that, you don't really want to do. What's the worst case scenario? Understand it rationally. If you can accept those outcomes, those negative outcomes, and it's not going to be life altering, go do it. Have a great day.